Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue 9, Tom Taylor writing with Bruno Redondo on the art. So, obviously it's the second part of the crossover with Nightwing. And I guess the only critique I would really have of this, and I feel like if Connor was here, he would be sitting and rambling about this for like 10 minutes, is that it hasn't really been a crossover per se, as it's just being two issues of Superman that happens to feature Nightwing that they decide to have one issue be just of Nightwing instead of just being both of them Superman.
Yeah, but this one has Redondo art.
Well, that's one had Redondo art as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is a Superman issue with Redondo art.
True, yes, okay, I see what you're saying. So I mean, that's a plus.
So so that's a plus.
Because
you're absolutely right. This is
the thing. It doesn't have an ending. It's not like a two-parter where there's an ending. This is just setting up where we're going in Superman.
I almost felt like this could have been like an annual.
I could see that
for Superman Son of Kal-El. So instead of the Luthor issue that we got, having this team up with Nightwing, this feels very much like a annual size story.
Yeah. But that Luthor story was really good though, so I guess I can't really complain that they found a way to give us both.
Embarrassment of riches, right? Like, in fact, I thought this was a Nightwing issue because I'm not too good at reading sometimes.
Matt said to me something about reading Nightwing, and then I went to check my book. Like, wait, Nightwing came out this week? Where's Nightwing? Have I missed a book?
Because of the Redondo art, I just assumed. I didn't even look at the cover, right? I knew it was a crossover, and I was like, this is a weird issue of like John narrating throughout Nightwing. Weird thing, but it's all Tom Taylor. It's fine. I was like, oh no, this is Superman Son of Kal-El.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I like this more than the first half of this.
Yeah. Well, this felt like a more complete story almost, where the other one was just kind of leading to this. So they kind of feel unbalanced because I feel like all the really good stuff's in this one.
Yeah, so basically Dick is working on his own, taking down criminals in Metropolis because they're trying to lure in these superpower serial killers, for lack of a better term.
Crazy.
Dick is basically acting as bait. So we get some fun sequences of him fighting some guys. I love the 2-page layout where he grapples up to the roof behind him. But then the building that he's grappled up to, they use that for panels inside of it. Really, really nice page. But best thing though, maybe my favorite panel of the whole issue is that they throw Dick off the roof, thinking they're killing him. And then obviously you turn the page and John's flying up and Nightwing is just got his hands behind his head and he's got his legs crossed as he's falling down, just looking so cocky. It's such a great panel.
He's so relaxed.
Yeah. So Superman goes up and obviously fights them. Maddox is freaking out. Why is Superman here? He was, because they've basically tricked the system because they knew they'd been monitoring Superman.
Right.
And like, are you going to help Nightwing? He's like, he doesn't need saving, and he just throws his stick over, and Nightwing uses his wingsuit and then grapples. It's just a nice little sequence. It's like a lot of what they've been doing with the little small panels showing the how-tos. It's, again, very Daredevil, very Sam Neill Daredevil. So Nightwing comes up and they beat up the bad guys. Two of them go away. They've put a tracker on one. They know they're going to the Luthor building, and there's like a big sub-basement level that's lined in lead and all the rest of it. But the big thing here is that the one that they have kept behind, the leader of this little group, John still got him, and they're going to talk to him, interrogate him, and whatever. But Maddox, of course, having foreseen this type of situation... Bendix is planned for this kind of thing, and basically just kills the guy. Like, he has like a self-destruct thing in his head. And the really sad part of it is that clearly these people in this team in the Rising are being completely mind controlled, as we've seen, right? They're being completely controlled in every way. It's not even their own voices or their own words coming out. And seemingly right before this guy dies, the way he says Superman with the question mark implies that for a second before he dies, he is himself again. So he did die as himself. Like, he goes back to being who he is for a second and dies. And it's just this really sad beat. Then you get that hug panel where John just hugs Nightwing at the end of the scene. Yeah,
so they're surrounded by the sparks of what used to be this guy. And yeah, it's just the blues and purples and just everything. And then he just hugs Dick. And it's, oh man.
Yeah. So, now, really well done scene. Really good stuff. And then we go to the Kent house, in which Lois tries her best to remain faithful to Clark, even though young Dick Grayson's walking around in a t-shirt. I'm just cracking a joke. Because the ladies love Dick. What can I say? But she's happy he's there and looking out for John, and Dick gives her a job offer and says, "Hey, do you want to be the head of the truth? Because it needs some legitimacy. It needs a person who's actually got some cred."
Face.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the other thing. It needs a face. It needs someone who, like, if it's anonymous, there's like a sort of air of mystique about it, which they don't want. You need someone who can actually be the face of it.
And who better than Lois, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's out now that Superman's Clark Kent, that they're, that she's married to him, and like, why not, right? This would add ultimate legitimacy to it.
Yeah. So Dick goes to speak to John, and they have this really sweet conversation how, because Nightwing saved him once, and that was the flashback at the start of the last issue. He talks about how, and this is a great use of like recent continuity here. He talks about how when he was trapped in the other, planet, another dimension or whatever, when he was aged up effectively to us, and he was there for 5 years, aged 11 to 16. He talks about how there was times when he was there and it was so horrible that he still thought to himself, I really hope Nightwing swoops in and saves me. Like, I hope Nightwing saves me. And Nightwing, of course, is like, I'm sorry, but... And obviously it's not his fault, because, to everyone else, like, a couple of weeks passed. And for John, it was years. But it feels like this really sweet moment. And he offers to be a mentor. And then there's all the shenanigans where Jay comes running in the room through the wall.
I do love him phasing through the wall, and Dick's reaction to that is he grabs a stuffed mammoth to use it as a weapon. Like, what were you going to do with a stuffed mammoth?
I kind of like the idea as well, is that the reason why it's a stuffed mammoth is because of the aging up, where like time moves so quickly. There's just a lot of John's like kid stuff lying around. Yeah. Because he's not really had time to like get rid of it all and care about it.
And I know that the Metropolis ice hockey team are the Mammoths, so I like to think that it's Mammoths merch, but probably more akin to your but still.
I mean, it can be both. That could be why it has a mammoth as a kid.
But I love that Dick grabs that as a weapon, and Lois just comes in with a massive laser gun. Yeah,
so that's massive. It's something Clark had kicking about in the fortress, that he confiscated. And Lois comes in with it, and then it's like, okay, just John's like, Jay, just tell them who you are, because there's no point in hiding all this shit. And he's like, yeah, I'm the leader of the truth, and basically, they're trying to spin that John killed this guy, because the footage that's just high up helicopter shot of this guy exploding in John's hands, they're making it look like John's the one who killed him. So it's like, okay, we have to combat this, and that's when Lois accepts the job of becoming the head of the truth to sort of. But I mean, she has incentive. Like, she's trying to like protect her son's reputation, because now they're calling him a murderer.
Yeah, but I like how Dick frames it to her. He's like, Lois, ready to want to stop on some lies? Because that's what Lois Lane's all about, right? Like, she's out there to reveal things, and it's just a bonus that it happens now to be about her son.
And then Dick gives John a lollipop to end the issue, because that ties back into the flashback, and because John was saying how Nightwing was his hero. It's all very sweet. There's a lot of feels, lots of heartwarming things. There's some really inventive layouts and panels when they're fighting the Rising. I love both Dick going up to the building, and then the falling from the building with a smug look in his face. All of that stuff is wonderful. Seeing, we don't get to see a lot of characters like Dick Grayson and Lois Lane interacting, so it's kind of nice to see it once in a while like this.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I love the idea as well, just in general, that Dick is like this close friend of the family because Superman likes Dick, and and
well, he was, and I also like too that like it's always been said that Dick always looks up to Clark a little bit more than Bruce, because Bruce is like his dad, but Clark is more like his, not like an uncle, but more like an actual mentor that Dick sought out. And then now Dick gets to repay that by being Clark's son's
mentor and hero. And as they point out in this issue, they both like the two people in the universe that actually recognize that Damian Wayne's not a shithead.
Yeah,
like,
yep.
yeah, we both like Damian. We're kind of in a unique club.
Yeah. So I do love, it's these two can bridge the Bat and Super families really well.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing I like is when John's straight up just asking about when Dick was Batman, and him then Dick talking about like feeling, I never felt like I was really living up to it.
He never, he goes, as us Bat folk don't really have superpowers, but I found out mine is I had super imposter syndrome, which I really like that too, because he always felt like I don't deserve to be Batman. I'm just pretending to be to be Batman. And, I feel like that's a thread that John's learning throughout Superman, while his dad's gone. So,
and let's face it, as much as they're not literally father and son, we often look at Dick as a son of Batman in a lot of ways.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's not his blood son, but he is his oldest son. It's
that father figure and try to fill the father's shoes is definitely something that can relate to what John's going through.
Yep.
So, no, like them having this bonding over all this just makes complete sense. It feels fulfilling to have the characters be sort of doing this and taking it this way. It's just another example of Taylor understanding these characters and how we should move forward with them. That feels feels right the whole time to me. So, yeah, it's cool. I mean, really, the only critique you could have is that it's marketed as a 2-issue crossover, and honestly, you get to the end of this issue, you're like, oh no, this is just like leading into the next issue of Superman. So it's not really. It's more like Dick guested in a two issues of Superman, and he's going to be probably referenced a few times here or there because he's the one owning the truth now, and he's related to that a little bit. But the fact that one of the issues happened to be a Nightwing issue is almost irrelevant. It's just 2 issues of Superman, and that's okay. I mean, that's fine. You're reading Superman and like it.
Yeah.
As someone who likes both books because I like everything Tom Taylor's writing pretty much, I have no issue with that. But it's the only objective critique I think you could give this as a 2-part crossover.
Yeah. Well, and now we're getting another 2-parter with Nightwing and Wally West for the next one. So
yeah, I'm not against that either.
No, but that I feel that's 2 Nightwing issues. I don't feel like it's crossing over with Flash. So we'll get back.
So it's not really a crossover. It's just Wally's in 2 issues of Nightwing.
Yeah, it's a Wally featuring. That's what I meant to say. But like the last issue of Nightwing before this, with when the Teen Titans show up and all of that, that's what I'm here for. Like I want to get more onto the whole Dick Grayson billionaire thing that Taylor's doing, but he's stopping and taking some time and doing these spotlight issues to show how important Dick is to the greater DC universe. How am I supposed to be mad at that? Now he's Superman's mentor now, right? Like that's really cool.
Yeah, there's nothing. As a fan of Dick Grayson, as a fan of John Kent, there is nothing that I don't like about what they're doing with this relationship. I love it. Heartwarming to the nth degree. So, and we mentioned the art, of course, is phenomenal. Redondo's next level. Like, he's one of my favorite artists, probably doing like ongoing comics right now.
Yep, easily.
So, no, it's cool. What you're rating Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue 9?
I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
That seems fair to me. Yeah, I think I'll agree. I'm almost tempted to go with a 9, and the only reason why I'm not is just because of the weird kind of crossover, not really a crossover-ness of it, but I generally really like a lot of what it's doing, so really good stuff.